So back in the 1930s and 40s, a man called Rudolf Flesch did a lot of research into what makes things easy to read. And I've also conducted a lot of tests myself over the years, and other people cleverer than I have conducted a lot of tests, and what I'm about to tell you is based upon the research of Flesch and the tests and a little common sense. So number one, sentences should be short. The average length of sentence that's easiest to read is 16 words. If you get your sentences are longer than 32 words, Flesch found out they were hard to read, and it's probably because people aren't concentrating when they read, and by the time they get to the end of a long sentence they can't remember what the hell was going on at the beginning. Paragraphs, just like sentences, and incidentally the easiest length of sentence to read is 8 words long. Thought you might like to know that. Paragraphs should be short, each ideally containing just one thought, because people can't take in too much at one time. So 1 or 2 thoughts at the most in each paragraph, and the first paragraph, if possible, make it really short. Yeah. Because that's when you're getting people into what you're reading. So if you see a big long paragraph, that really puts people off. So a short first paragraph. Words should be short and lively, not long and dull. For instance, don't talk about purchase, talk about buy, say buy. Good writing is unselfish. You see, good writing means that you don't make things hard for your reader. You know, your reader should have to do as little work as possible, but at the same time it shouldn't be so easy that they don't actually take on board what you're saying. Yeah? But it's got to be easy. You do the work for your reader. One of the things you can do to keep people reading, and I gave you an example just now, you break sentences at the end of pages to encourage reading, just as I did in the letter I showed you, where I said, please read on. Never use 2 words if one will do. In other words, don't say miss out on if you can say miss. Don't say marketplace because it usually means market. Yeah? There are lots of lazy things we get into the habit of doing. If possible, cut words out. One word you can almost invariably cut out is the word that. When you finish this, go and have a look at something you've written and go through it and see how many words you've used, times you've used the word that, and see if you can't cut that word out without changing the meaning. You usually can. Don't use fancy language or jargon unless you're talking to techies. Now, the only times when you use jargon is when the purpose is to reassure people that you know what you're talking about, that you're on the same wavelength as them. Yeah. So you use just enough jargon to convince them of that and no more, because lots of other people won't understand the jargon. Yeah. And some of the jargon will be known by some techies and not by others. Try to avoid tired words and expressions which they can be used and they will work, but don't use them too much. Superb, exciting, fabulous, key issues, core values, strategic overview, at the end of the day, that sort of thing. The first time somebody said core values, that probably hit the spot, you know, or key issues, it probably hit the spot. But it's been used so many times now that it's almost lost meaning. Eh? At the end of the day, again, that probably sounded really, you know, fresh when it first came out, but now it's been used thousands of times, and the reader's mind glides over it and pays no attention. So try and seek fresh language if you can.